Okay then, so on this video I'm just going to quickly go over who votes for the Democrat Party and why. So in terms of ethnic minorities, most of the ethnic minorities in the USA overwhelmingly vote for the Democrat Party. So African Americans have always been over 80% for the Democrat Party. Hillary Clinton got 89% of this vote, slightly lower than Barack Obama's. That's obviously because he was a black candidate, so it may have attracted some more. Why do African Americans vote for the Democrats? Well, there are a number of different reasons. One is their historical support for civil rights from the 1960s. They support a program called Affirmative Action, which is basically positive discrimination to assist African Americans. We'll do more about that when we do racial politics. A lot of the politicians who were black happen to be Democrats. So, people like obviously Barack Obama, but going back in time, people like John Lewis and all these other characters. A fourth reason is because they're often the poorest group in society as well, from these urban areas. Urban voters tend to vote Democrat, poorer people tend to vote Democrat, because again, they support government programs which can assist them. Hispanics have also increasingly voted Democrat, so there were more 50-50 mix like in the 1980s, but especially under Obama got, I might get these numbers wrong, I think it was 71% in 2008 and 73% in 2012 of the, now when I say Latino vote, what I really mean Hispanic Latino vote, I'm really talking about Mexican Hispanics. Cuban Hispanics, who tend to be in Florida, don't do. And actually, it was that group of Cuban Hispanics from Miami-Dade who actually supported Trump in 2020, which led partly to Florida going in the Republican area. But Hispanics, Latinos from Mexico overwhelmingly support the Democrats. Hillary Clinton got 69% of their vote. Again, some of them the same reasons for African Americans. The idea, the stuff like they tend to be the poorest in society, but also the Democrats tend to be the most favourable of the two parties for things like immigration reform. Tend to be more supportive of Spanish being taught in lessons, that type of stuff. In terms of religion, the Jewish vote is often for the Democrat Party. So Hillary Clinton, for example, got, it says trying to find it, 71% of the Jewish vote. So again, this is partly to do with, again, they often come from the poorer districts of the United States. They often live in the towns and cities. So for those particular reasons, the Jewish vote often does vote for the Democrat Party. I'm always a little unsure why it is actually so high, to be honest with you, because the Republicans often have a tougher line. I mean, both parties tend to support Israel, but the Republicans tend to be more supportive in many respects, like Trump opening the embassy in Jerusalem. But anyway, I think it must be more down to the economics, I am guessing. They also tend to get tend to support people who are not religious, those who don't go to church as often as other groups. So again, I did have somewhere some stats on this, like it said how many people who don't go to church more than once a year voted Democrat. I can't find it now, but they do get the more non-religious, the more secular voters. Okay, gay and lesbian voters, again, they tend to vote for the Democrats. I was trying to find the statistics on this, and I can't do. And again, this tends to be because the Democrats are more socially liberal, and therefore I found the stats now actually. 5% of the electorate identify themselves as being gay, lesbian, bisexual or transgender. This is in 2016. 77% of them voted for Hillary Clinton, and she actually got 1% greater than voted for Obama. And I think this is because they tend to be socially liberal Democrats, supporting things like gay rights and those sorts of issues. In terms of age groups, again, traditionally the Democrats get the younger voters. So again, they tend to get those under the age of 35 in particular. This has trying to find. So 18 to 24-year-olds, 56% voted for Hillary Clinton. That's actually down 4% than 2012 under Obama. I think lots of them weren't too keen on Hillary Clinton. I think they thought she was too kind of establishment. 25 to 29-year-olds, 54% Hillary Clinton. That was down 6 from 2012. 30 to 39 to 51%, that was down 4. And then after that date, it then splits over to the Republicans. So younger voters. And again, why did they tend to vote the Democrats? It's a bit like why younger people tend to vote for the Labour Party. They often tend to be more progressive when you're younger. People who are younger often perhaps seem to be a bit more optimistic about life and where things are going. Younger voters are more likely to be better educated as well, which is another group that tends to vote for the Democrats. So there are some of the reasons I will put forward for why younger people tend to vote for the Democrat Party. In terms of education level, again, let's find this. Those who have a those who have a postgraduate degree, so the highest degree level, 58% of them voted for Hillary Clinton in 2016, which was a 3% increase than before. Normally, for the Democrats, those who got some college education, I'm not quite sure what that means. I'm guessing they went to college but didn't pass, perhaps. Normally, they're more supportive of the Democrats. Hillary Clinton only got 43% of those votes, which was down 6% from Obama. Those with a college graduate, again, some kind of degree level, 49% for Hillary Clinton. So, in terms of education, it is actually closer, but you can see that those who have some kind of college graduate, overall, 52% Clinton. So Democrats tend to get the more educated voters by and large. And again, that might be because they tend to be a bit more progressive, possibly with a higher education, think more critically perhaps have better paid jobs as a consequence, that type of stuff. In terms of wealth, those earning under $50,000 a year, so what's that, about £40,000 a year, £45,000 a year, something like that. So that's kind of your middle management level, teacher level. What do nurses get in Britain? They get about 40,000, don't they? That kind of level of voter and below. 49% of them voted for Hillary Clinton, 45% of them voted for Trump. Those earning more than 100,000, sorry, I'll get that wrong, Paul, say that again. Those under 50,000, 53% Hillary Clinton. Okay, those earning more than that, less. The tipping point seems to be about that 50,000. Above that, it tends to flip more towards the Republicans. Again, that might be to do with things like taxation. You know, those people are going to earn more money, therefore pay more taxes, therefore might be attracted to people and politicians who want to cut taxes. They tend to require less kind of government services if you're earning more than £50,000 a year, that type of stuff. What was interesting though about Trump is that he did actually chip into that manufacturing white working class vote, which normally does vote for the Democrats. So again, he kind of took away some of that, because Hillary Clinton had a 7-point decline amongst that group, those under 50,000, compared to 2012. Now, I would suggest that -7 for Clinton probably were the ones which Trump picked off some of those white working class voters from our old friends in Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan. If I hear those 3 states one more time this year, I might just die. In terms of urban areas, they overwhelmingly vote for the Democrats, and you saw that, didn't we? Oh yeah, so one last thing about age, I just remembered. Older voters, as I said, tend to vote for the Republicans. However, I was reading in the New York Times this morning, those over 65 this year actually voted for Joe Biden. So quite unusually, older voters this year actually did vote for the Democrats. And I think that was probably down to the fact they felt that Trump was a bit kind of, as we put it nicely, erratic, not very presidential. So, and also Biden himself is 77, so they might identify more with him. Okay, back to urban areas. They tend to be like with the Labour Party, tend to get the vote of towns and cities. The same is true in America. Small towns like Nuneaton tend to be more conservative in this country. The same is true in the United States, that small town mentality. But big urban areas tend to be Democrat. The Republicans always used to get the vote of the suburbs. It's one of the main reasons why the Republicans used to win elections. Places like, my sister lived in Henrico County in Virginia, Fairfax County in Northern Virginia, a suburb of Washington, D.C. These areas are now quite strongly Democrat. I'm just watching the election results for Pennsylvania. There's a county called Northampton County, just outside Philadelphia, which is normally 50-50 Democrat-Republican. It obviously went to the Democrats for Joe Biden. So they tend to get the urban vote, and increasingly there seems to have been some revolt of suburban voters to the Democrat Party in 2020. So they're increasingly getting these suburban votes and town votes. In terms of geography, the Democrat strongholds tend to be those northeastern states, places like New Hampshire, New York, Delaware, all those sorts of states. They tend to get the votes on the other side of America, so California, Washington, Oregon, and then they often traditionally used to get those Midwest states, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan. Obviously, that didn't happen in 2016, and Biden's just about got those votes back, hasn't he, in this election. But the reason why Colorado, Arizona, and New Mexico are going increasingly Democratic, in fact, Colorado and New Mexico used to be swing states, now they're safe Democrat states since 2012, is because of that Hispanic vote in those particular areas. So the Hispanic vote is changing places like Arizona, and it's also why Texas might be a swing state in the future. It is heading that way, it's getting a bit more purple. But traditionally, the Democrats get the votes on the Midwest, the Northeast in particular, and the West Coast. Okay, and the reasons why, it's due to history, it's due to lots of working class voters in those areas. But now you want to add in New Mexico and Colorado, it's because of that Hispanic vote. Okay, any problems with that, then let me know, but hopefully that gives you a bit of an overview as to who votes for the Democrats and why.